Hello, everybody. Welcome. So this is my first time using my own StreamYards with the new setup and the mic, which I'm so excited about. This thing is amazing so far. I could do weird things like
Hello, I'm gonna make you my beat.
but of course, I'm not actually going to do that to you guys. Welcome. So I watched Firefly episodes 11 to 14. 4 episodes. It was quite a lot. I kind of wish I did 2 episodes a week, but c'est la vie. We are here. I am excited to talk to you about the episodes, but I am on a time limit today. So we're going to try to fit in everything we can. 4 episodes. We have 2 hours. So let's go. Let me say hi to the chat first. Hi, everyone. Let's see who we have here. I saw Andrew Matthews earlier who helped me tell me that I boomered quite a few things already. And also Eldridge who also said that I boomered my own thumbnail. Hi, BS. Hi, Thomas. Let's see who else is here. World Warrior's here as well. Sean, Ken Lipson, what's up? HG's here as well. And Cajun Corey Park. Oh, and hi, Canmian. What's up? Oh, Big Raj is here too. You can do that with season 2. Well, season 2 is probably so good, but probably so hard to find because it's just that rare. Anyways, so let's get started with episode 11. Lovingly called Trash. I thought that was an interesting title, so I had no idea what that was going to be about. It started with the weirdest beginning. Just Malcolm naked on a rock. I mean, okay, let's be honest here. That is also not a bad thing to see. He's not bad looking. I think we can all agree to that. And he just said, that went well. I have questions. What happened to make him naked on a rock in the desert? And of course, we find out eventually. Xray was hot for him. I was, Ken. It was, surprisingly pleasant. I'm sorry, Mark. I know you're out there in the chat. I love you. Okay, so I love how they preface episodes like this because it makes it just that much more interesting. Because I think if they started the episode without that little cutscene, I just wouldn't be as interested. I wouldn't be as interested. Like, okay, Hollywood, ladies love naked men. It's not a bad thing. They showed a nice side of him. Anyhow, beyond that, so we went 72 hours before. They're on some mission, and we meet a guy named Monty who has the most luscious mustachio ever. The most luscious mustache ever. And he's all like, I have a wife. She's absolutely amazing. And basically has changed his life. Wow, Sean, I would act the same as Mal in this episode. Probably. I think he did the right thing. He did the right thing. So we end up meeting Bridget, who is Saffron. Oh my gosh. So she has the same MO. She's like, okay, I'm gonna seduce a man, somehow get married to him, and then take his stuff, essentially. And of course, when Malcolm sees Saffron, he's like, you! And then they basically fight. And it's so funny because Malcolm's like, you guys need to stop. Just stop. Please stop. And he's not doing anything for a solid like 10 seconds. This felt like how I was in D&D when Kyler got killed. Not Kyler got killed. Epic Michael was about to get killed, you know. I was a watcher. I watched. And I'm not going to lie, that's probably what I would have done in real life because I would have been just so shocked. In any case, he eventually pulls them apart and Malcolm tells him about what Saffron did to him. And then, you know, Bridget is denying. And then she slips up and says, Malcolm's full name. And then Monty's like, I didn't tell you that. Yeah, are we calling World War? Is that her name? Yosafbridge? What? What does that mean? He broke the dwarven code, never shaved a beard. Oh yes, he had a beard, and that's why his wife was brought up. He shaved his beard for his wife, and to be honest, if his beard was in his soup, I would have an issue with that as well. That's just too much beard.
Yeah, I think you need to take baby Rocky. He wants to play, and JoJo is not having it.
Oh my God. Hi, everyone. Welcome chat to Rocky. He is our new co-host. He's going to be talking about Firefly. Oh, you have something to say, honey? Do you have something to say? Okay, nothing to say. I'm going to just keep him here by my face. I can't. Everyone just calls her Saffron. Okay, yeah, so let's just call her Saffron. Rocky, oh my God, he's falling asleep right now. My heart. Oh. He's so adorable. Aren't you, sweetheart? I'm not going to be able to podcast with this precious thing here. Rocky needs his own channel. Guys, would you watch Rocky live his daily life? I think you would. I think you would. I got distracted by a puppy. What did we do? They fought. They pulled them off each other. And then Monty ends up leaving Saffron on the planet, throws her stuff off his ship, and leaves her. And then guess what? Mal picks her up. And to be honest, this whole episode, Malcolm was like very untrusting of, I can't concentrate with this thing. Very untrusting of Saffron. And I mean, like, she did betray him. She did betray him. It was very hard. I would have a hard time trusting any man or woman if they ever did that to me. I can't do this episode with him on my face. He's just so cute. Every time I see my StreamYards. Oh, okay. All right, there we go. All right. Hello, baby. Hello, baby. Sorry, my ovaries are like just so happy right now. This is my happy place. All right, I'm going to put you on my lap because I cannot actually podcast like this, baby. You just have to lay here, okay? All right, he's on my lap. More snoozing than running around lately. Heck yes. All right, okay, so what happens after this? Okay, so I have to say, I have to give this to her. Even though she's not the nicest of companions, she is so resourceful. She's very smart. You know, she just got dumped by her most recent husband and still can convince one of her ex-husbands to take her on their ship. She wants to ride so bad that she used her trump card, which was, I have a job. You can make millions so easily if we do this. And you know what? He falls for it. She knows him so well. And I think this is the skill of companions that I love. Like they insinuated that they have, that they can read the humans and figure out what their intentions are, even behind their own lies, even if it's to themselves. Discount Superhero, is that The Rock with Xray Girl? I wish he was as strong as The Rock and as good of an actor as The Rock, but you know, it's okay. You're raw Rocky. Rocky, will you pull those earphones out so I can hear yourself? I'm sleeping here. I know he's like falling asleep on my lap. You know what I'll do? I'm gonna do this. I'll let him sleep against my chest. I can't have him sleeping against my face. Oh my God, my earphones. But that way you guys can see him. He's so cute. Okay, there we go. Yes, Woad Warrior, the feminine wiles. And you know what? Power to her. She uses her power for what she needs. I mean, it's a little evil what she does and all the backstabbing she does, but that is just her downfall. She loves money. She's kind of like Jayne, actually. Jayne's downfall is legitimately money. Okay, so he ends up taking her on the ship, and Mal returns and is all battered up with tissues on his nose. The crew's confused because they're like, wasn't that like your friend? Why did you get beat up? As if he got beat up, I'm sure Zoe would have went, but of course, no. Wow, Thomas, I am a human. I can read humans too, sometimes. You're gonna end up being like, who is it that always says that I'm like some program? Oh my god, I can't remember. Once I see his name, I'm sure I would remember. So he returns. Mal goes and sees Inara and wants to talk business. And I think this scene is absolutely hilarious. Inara ends up, is this the one where she ends up making the tea? Yes. So she makes the tea. And we've seen this scene a few times before where Inara like has this like ceremony when she's being a companion, kind of like to woo a guy, I guess, like set the mood. And immediately Mal thinks that Inara wants to like do him or make him more compliant and use her feminine wiles on him. And the thing is, it's because, you know, for one, he's afraid that it'll actually work. And I think that's absolutely hilarious that he knows himself that well. And two, I don't think he wants to be just some regular client of hers. Like if he actually were to let it happen, he wants to be special. Those clients she has, it's not special. They might feel special in the moment, but comparing himself to that, he's like, So he gets a little taken aback. But in actuality, she just wanted to make him tea. Oh gosh. And so she's like, I need to talk business. And she basically hadn't seen a client in 3 weeks. They were out in the middle of nowhere where she can't meet with people because the Alliance was after them, and she still wants to work. But of course, he needs to hide. Oh, where are you going, honey? Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Where are you going? Do you want to go down? All right, I'm gonna let you down. Okay. You make my job harder. All right, do you need to go outside? Okay. Okay, Jojo's there. She'll open the door. Unlike Jay. We're not opening the door like Jay. Pelvic sorcery? Is that what we're calling it now? Don't ever trust a woman who makes you tea. She's clearly up to evil. You do not want to be dating an Asian. We make tea all the time. Oh, anyways. So he wanted to be careful. So that's why he was staying out on the outskirts of, I guess, the galaxy. And she wants to work. And I think this is a interesting word that they brought up, that she called his thievery petty. And this is a word that gets repeated, not just in this episode, but one of the episodes in the future. When she said the word petty, it like triggered him. I don't think he thinks that the jobs he does is petty thievery. You know, he has a survival and there's that, but then I think he has these moral codes which he doesn't believe is petty. And, you know, we kind of saw that with the medical supplies when they took it from that town that had the illness, but he's okay stealing from the Alliance. It's very interesting seeing how this word petty is such a trigger word for her or him. Which kind of sucks, because I think I'm not a Robin Hood like he is, but I do think that he does good and that it's not acknowledged based on that word. And now it's a big word for him. So he gets upset and then he leaves. He goes and opens up the crate, and inside is Saffron. Dang. I didn't think he'd fall for it until this moment. So now that she's on the ship, we know for sure that this plan is going to happen. Whatever plan she has to steal whatever it is, she eventually tells them that there's this guy named Durham Hamer. He has this gun called the Lassiter, which was from way back in the war, and only 2 of them exist. And she has this guy's schedule for the next 18 months, as well as the code and the layouts of the building I'm thinking, how does she find out these codes? I actually legitimately put in my notes. How does she know this? How does she find this? I mean, I know she's resourceful, but that was such an interesting thing for me to think about because we find out later how and what. So they make a plan. He brings Saffron to the rest of the ship. And I love how Wash reacts. What is she doing on the ship? Oh, gosh. So the plan that they have, it seems simple. So they go in, use the security codes, get themselves in. That's the easy part. It's leaving that's the hard part because the lassiter is coded that when it's taken out, it will, the security would be activated. And of course, Saffron, why didn't she do it herself? Because of those issues. So she needed help to do this. Let's see. Fall for it. Just having her on the ship locked into boxes already mentally influencing him. I know. Okay, so everyone loves Christina Hendricks. She's absolutely gorgeous. Of course, people are going to fall for her. I mean, I would. BS. I haven't seen it yet, Disparu. Oh, wait. Is Disparu here? Hi, Disparu. What is up? What's in the box? Christina Hendricks. Absolutely gorgeous Christina Hendricks. I'd love to have her in a box too. Wow, that's phrasing. All right, so Inara in the end calls everyone idiots if they trust her, which I love. This is like setting up the scene. And of course, we know Inara is able to look at people and read them. That's part of her companion training. Malcolm, I feel like he has a good read on people, but I feel like he's too trusting in Saffron, or at least I thought so. And I think that this whole petty word comes back into play because what happened? Malcolm's like, better, this job is better, something not petty. And then he's, willing to hear it all. I need a glass of wine. So Kaylee's planning the exit for them on the, I guess it's like a planet, the home that they're going to steal this from. She has to build some sort of chip to take a droid and redirect it. And she kind of does that with Wash. Hi, Mark. And then Zoe and, oh my God, what are you doing? Jojo. Oh my God, I am so confused right now. Oh, it's Chinese for petty. Interesting. I need to learn Chinese. Is Mark actually dancing as he's going? Guys, this is gonna turn into a dancing scene. He's creeping. I know. He's watching me. I need a glass of wine. All right. Let me ring back. Where was I? All right, here. Okay, so we have some roles. Jane is to be the babysitter of Simon and River. This is one little interaction. I have it written here. River says she's a liar and no good will come of her. Perceptive River. And then I love this next line. Jane is a girl's name. I mean, I've thought that. I don't know if you guys thought that. But like, it has to be River that says it because I don't think the only other person that could maybe say Jane is a girl's name is Kaylee without having a repercussion. And yes, Arc Demi Dragon, sorry, is a girl's name. But if Malcolm said a Zoe, Simon, and maybe even the shepherd, they get either something verbal at them or something physical. Oh, Disparu brings up a good point. I could see the companion being dangerous in real life. She knows how to turn on the charm. Women do this. Men do this too. It is not like a gender specific thing. There are some people who are absolutely charming. Like absolutely charming. And I've fallen for it and it sucks, especially if, and this is the thing, at least with the companion, I think there is an aspect of truth and people know you set a time, place, time limit, all that. But if there is no time limit, you have no idea the intention, they're just turning the charm for their own self-benefit. That could be very, very dangerous. Yes, there's a girl who shows up to FNT. Jane Theory. Yes, she's awesome. Please sub to her. Leia Run is something else. Leia's Run? What is that? Wow, Mark. Mark is like flirting in the chat right now. Hi, Mark. All right, so okay, back to the rules. They go through the plan. Mal and Saffron are to go into the house. They have flowers to kind of blend in. There's like a party going on. They get through the door. Kaylee tells them to go to the 9th floor. That's where the gun is. And that's where they're going to throw the gun into the trash so that the trash is taken to an off site. I love this idea in the plan because it shows that even though they're working with Saffron, there's an aspect of mistrust with her. And I kind of like that. I did not know that this plan had like literally layers to it. There's more layers than I thought, which makes me happy because they're a lot smarter than I was. So Mal and Saffron go get the gun. Jane and Kaylee are on the ship underneath like the house, and they're trying to get this chip into the droid that ends up, or drone, I think the word is drone, that will end up taking the trash when the trash is thrown out to this dedicated location, which by the way, it was like winds are blowing, things are like very dangerous, and Wash is like trying to hold the ship in a steady place, but it's really difficult. And of course, I think Jane gets fried while he's trying to put the chip in. The poor guy just like gets thrown off. So he has to go back in. We're back in like the gun room now. They made it to the gun room and Mal and Saffron get caught. This is such an amazing scene. Oh, I just saw this. John Connors, Leia ran like a kid. I haven't watched that show yet, and I do not want to. I do not want to. So they get caught by the guy Durham. And this is where we find out the extent to why and how maybe Saffron figured out all this stuff, like the plans, the codes, et cetera, et cetera. So she was actually married to this guy under the name Yolanda and disappeared 6 years ago. He thought that she had left with a guy named, okay, I don't remember how to say it. Heinrich. I think it's Heinrich, who was a young, bright man. But he didn't actually think it in the end because they found his dead body. Interesting. So she used to be married to this guy. So of course she knows the layout of this place. Who's this Heinrich guy? How she obviously has access to all these. Maybe his planner. Maybe there's a password. I don't know how things work in the space-time continuum. What am I talking about? In space, do they have a Gmail account that she can log in and get access to his? Probably as a wife, I think you would have access to that. So that was interesting. So they end up like stealing the gun. And while she's having this chat, Malcolm puts the gun in the trash. Prior to that, Zoe and Kaylee are out trying to put the chip in, which they were successful. Literally within milliseconds, poor Kaylee's head was going to be taken off by the drone. And of course they were successful. The trash gets taken out and it goes off to whatever location the trash ends up going. All right. So of course Durham feels betrayed. She reappears. She tries to use her feminine wiles. And this is so interesting to see her. Literally, she has used her charm to her maximum extent. She's been pushed into this corner and corner. And I feel like she lost it because when you're put under stress, maybe, or the fact that she's just so desperate, it's actually literally seeping out. I don't know. Are we really surprised? No, we're not. All right. Let me see here. So, anyways, Mal throws the gun down. Saffron is yelling at Durham. He's looking absolutely hurt and mistrustful. He literally read right through her. And I think that her companion training, whatever it may be, was enough under her control. But when things get out of control, like any normal human, the actual thoughts and ideas that you have in your underneath come out. Wow. Disbrew. Is that true? Star Trek orders were given by Gmail too. So, in this world, we have this centralized sort of data. They're living in hard drives in a secure spot. So in space, is that the same thing? Like, how does that work? I don't know. I'm really confused. I need to know how she got the planner. So anyways, he is super betrayed. And Saffron's like, did you really think I wanted to be a princess locked up in the tower? And to be honest, Durham actually probably did. He wanted a good, obedient wife. Someone who was hot, literally. And a good, charming like she was, but actually truthfully charming, not to dupe him. And Mal's like, who Durham did ask Mal, and like, is that your husband? And Mal like, who in the galaxy ain't her husband? She's like married every guy she meets. I love it. So Durham did call the feds. They were coming. Saffron's trying to get him to call the feds. He doesn't. And they fight. They're fighting. And then they try to make their escape. I love this action scene. They're fighting security dudes. They're going through doors, trying to make their way off the planet. And then Mal and her end up on the little escape pod. So they end up leaving, which is good. And they have this really deep conversation. And I kind of want to use this to dissect the two of them. So she has been literally holding on to this job for 6 years. She had left him 6 years ago. This was her trump card. She was only going to use it when times are tough. Now, I literally thought in that moment, okay, so if that is because times are tough, then must be cash. But he took it a step further and was like, she actually liked that he thought she was a decent person. She didn't actually dupe him. She disappeared. He's like, why did you disappear? He saw that she was in love with Heinrich. And, companions, as we see, can fall in love. And Nara, obviously, in love with Malcolm. But I think it's almost in their programming to deny themselves of being committed to a person. Because if you're committed to one person, can you be a companion? I don't know. Do people do that? Can you be what? Actually, I've heard of porn stars who are in marriages, still do the work. So Maybe? I don't know. The show has never really addressed that. If someone wants to actually be in a committed relationship, could you? I don't know. Chat. I haven't watched Serenity. Do they talk about this? And then Mal sees right through her completely, and she, cried about hiring Steph. And maybe she actually cried on the ship, but then I had to think, is this real? I don't know. I can never know with her or with companions in general. Her persona that she puts off, I want to think that it's not calculated, but maybe it was, because after that she's crying. She tells them, don't tell anyone I broke down. Well, no, he says don't. She won't tell anyone that she broke down, and then she goes, I won't tell anyone how easily I got the gun from your holster. Dang it. So that makes me think, like, was this real? Was this conversation real in the aspect that she actually wanted to be with Heinrich? He ended up dead. All those crazy things. I don't know. I have questions, because the whole persona of companions makes it seem like they are great actors and actresses. Maybe we'll never find out. Wow. On Chrissy Mayer, she always says the Prawn Star couples are all open and swinging relationships, not really a marriage per se. But would a companion be able to work and be married? That is a good question. I don't know. Wow. If you can fake an O, you can fake a cry. No, I mean, I don't think the cry, I don't think the cry could be fake. Like, whether it's real or fake, that's not the question that I'm wondering. I'm wondering if we think that Saffron actually fell in love, and that whole situation, she wanted to make sure that, she had a good memory. Someone had a good memory of her, someone who didn't think that she was a complete, deceiver, take money or stuff from people, because she never actually did that to Durham until this very moment. Wow. Disparate. I think the scene was was both her being honest and manipulating. Maybe, I guess we can fall in the middle of that, because we'll never know 100% for sure if what she was feeling was real or not, to the fullest extent. But I have seen women use their emotions to make things happen. And she made things happen. So she steals the gun, points it at Malcolm. And she legitimately thinks he's like some gullible fool at this point. And then she tells him to get naked and leaves him in the desert. So I guess that's how we find out that how he was left. It all makes sense. So he says she won't fool the crew. The crew does figure out what's going on, because she also does screw with the alternator on the ship, and they can't land to meet at the rendezvous point where they sent that droid. I did forget to mention a really key scene. So during their little planning session, this is so evil, and this is like the layer upon layer of this plan. Of course, we know that Inara and Malcolm were kind of having a tiff about the word petty, that he's a petty thief. And to kind of strengthen this narrative, they had a tiff on purpose that Saffron saw through a window, a little window through a door. And I love how he's like, you're not really part of the crew, you don't really work in the plans. And guess what? She was. So she goes to the trash bin, and I kind of love how she's like sifting, and she's dirty looking. She's going through the trash trying to find the gun. And then boom, she looks up there's Anara with a gun, and I don't know. That scene was just so amazing. I did see here, the player gets played. Yes, Furious Phil. That was like, girl, if I could do that like weird finger thing that people do, like, oh, snap, that's crazy. And I love that she's part of the plan. You know, this is the first time we've seen her actually be present in a plan. I mean, she helped out with the governor, make, links to people, but she's never actually been there present as part of the plan in case anything happened. So of course they planned to make it seem like she wasn't part of the plan, and then there she was. And of course she closes the trash bin, and then of course I guess Saffron gets arrested. Jade ends up waking up in the med bay, and Simon is like, can you move your arms and legs? I thought for a moment, I'm like, nah, he didn't break his spine. He didn't, did he? But he actually is okay. Simon just wanted to paralyze him because he found out that he was trying to sell River and Simon. And, Simon does promise he will be safe in the med bay, but that they need to trust each other. And I think this was kind of a sweet scene. A little devious, and you don't think Simon is that sneaky, but I love that. I love that he can be sneaky too. And the top off this last little scene here, River's like, also, I can kill you with my brain. And to be honest, sometimes I think she can. Sometimes I really think she can. And she has these beautiful one-liners that are just perfect. So we go back, Mal's naked, he gets picked up, and he goes to Nara and asks, it actually went well? And of course it did. Now they just have to find a buyer. What a great first episode to watch. It was like fun, witty, good action. I love that they brought back Christina Hendricks. She is like a fan favorite. I mean, who would have thought that a beautiful, well-endowed ginger would be such a fan favorite. I want more of her. I love her character. It brings in a nice little element of evil, witty, beautiful woman who uses the same assets as Anara has, literally the same assets. And it's kind of like the evil part of Anara, or evil versus good. Having those two together. And of course they don't like each other because ex-wife, companion, evil, good. That was kind of a fun character to have, and to have Malcolm almost fall for her in the first episode she was in, but somewhat smart. It's okay to let them die. Later on, I swallowed a bug. Was that from the show? And I forgot that line. Oh, God. Yes. Honestly, I think the great thing about River is that some of the stuff she says has come true. Absolutely has come true. And I think she does things out of the goodness of her heart, but then does things to troll people. So I don't I want to figure her out so bad. But I don't think I ever will, because there's no season 2 of Serenity. Wow. Christina, Chrissy Mayer, Patty Gertie. We do find out in the movie. Wow, Disprue. I'm just glad Saffron isn't real. She'd be the death of me. Disprue loves gingers. Confirmed. Oh my God. That. Or is it because the endowment that you like her? I have questions. I also love how, very smart people were working on both sides in this episode, and trying to one-up each other has become a thing. Because the first episode, of course, they didn't know that she was as witty as she put herself out there. And they had Anara, her mortal enemy, so to speak, get the best of her. Wow, shark dentures. I say both. Wow. Wow. Andrew Matthews. I have watched this season way after most people. Is it really spoiling it? Okay, so this episode I gave an 8.5, kind of 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10. This is a great, fun way to have Christina Hendricks, and each character kind of showing their little bits of strengths and weaknesses. You know, everyone has it, and pretending that they had weaknesses. That was very interesting. That was very interesting. That is not why Kyler died, BS. Kyler died because his friends betrayed him, which is unfortunate. Redhead is a psycho in bed. A Furiousville, I've never been with Redhead, so I don't know. Barry Martin for $20. Glad you're still enjoying the show. Thank you. I love the show. I do want to do a watch without writing notes. I think what I would have enjoyed was to watch all the episodes through and then do a second watch with notes. That would have made it that much better. But I did kind of both in one sitting. So I did get the full effect. But thank you, Barry. We have Sahil with a £1. Thank you. No message. Furiousville for another $20 for the wine. Oh, cheers. Thank you. Oh, no, I got it, Furiousville. I got it. I even took a sip. You redeemed a sip my wine. Gleeman for $5. Saffron, he's my husband, Mel. Well, who in the damn galaxy ain't? Oh, where did they get their southern accents? I can wonder, is this like the southern galaxy? They have like a southern part, like South Carolina? It's so weird. It's so weird. Wow, Ken Lipson, the hot take. Inara is the hottest woman in sci-fi. Who else could be the hottest woman in sci-fi? I don't know. Yeah, like how do you... Ken Lipson, I already done this poll. I'll do another one though. In Firefly. Inara. Saffron. Kaylee. And like River, I feel like was she a child? Was she a child? I don't want to put her there in case she was a child at this point. Oh, that would be, oh wait, Zoe. There we go. I forgot Zoe for a moment. There we go. Here we go. No, but she was a child in this show. I feel weird. I put favorite, but this is different. Hottest. Hottest is absolutely different. Mal is from a rural farming world that has southern accents. Near side of Cyclops. Oh, okay. All right, I got it. All right. So we'll let that poll run for the next episode while I go through that. So episode 12 is called The Message. And they kind of start off at this like weird circus. Simon and Kaylee are watching this cow fetus. It's like weird and it's gross. And, you know, Simon is so good at starting to flirt and then he makes it horrible. I put in here, Kaylee had F me eyes. And then he said something stupid like, you're the only girl that is basically appropriate for me. And she gets hurt. I feel so bad for her. Like she keeps flirting with him and he keeps not seeing it or he keeps effing it up. He clearly has no charm. He should learn from Inara how to charm. It's quite unfortunate because they're just like Malcolm and Inara. They don't want to admit it to each other. This whole cat and mouse game of flirting is, I mean, I won't lie, it's fun, but it feels like months on this ship. How do you keep flirting for months? I don't know. Wow. Rocket Man says, Xray says the message, and I hear the critical drinker saying it. I don't know how to copy his accent. I wish I did. Yeah. FBIs are awesome. And she was giving it to him. Oh my God. But he didn't pick up on it. Clearly has no self-awareness. Zoe and Wash come in and they're like making fun of him, kind of. And Zoe's like, you scare her away again. And I love that Zoe knows that he's like, he likes her, but he doesn't know how to do it. Doesn't know how to do it. So they're trying to fence off the Lassiter, but no one wants it. They make this like comparison that it's like the Mona Lisa, hard to sell because it's a hot item. If you buy the Lassiter, you could end up getting arrested. So they're just trying to figure out how to get rid of it. And then they go pick up their post at a postal office, the space postal office, and they get their mail. Jane gets a package from his mom. It's this letter. It's beautiful and gorgeous and adorable. And I love that he is like struggling to read it, but he can read it in the end. He's not super dumb, but they make him seem like he's dumb if he can't read a letter. And he gets this absolutely cute hat. It's orange. It's like these little ear flaps at the side. It's so adorable. And everyone's like, it's cute. It's cute. Absolutely cute. I would say the same thing. And they also get this like large package of a dead man. It's really creepy. It's really creepy. Wow. Saffron and Inara and Kaylee are tied. Wow. Just of course you would vote for Saffron. So they jump to the past 7 years earlier, Battle of Duquesne, and they see this dead guy alive, and he's a soldier, and Zoe comes to basically save him in this like gunfight. And it kind of shows that, you know, we're buddy soldiers, we protect each other, and Malcolm and Zoe literally save this dude from missiles, tanks, all this. And so we find out his name. His name is Tracy. We find out human post is illegal. Dead humans, even worse, I'm sure. So they end up taking the dead body and going to the ship. So Simon asks if they want an autopsy, because obviously we know who this guy is, what's going on, how did he die. Zoe ends up finding a recording. It's a very interesting recording. It was a message for Zoe and Mal. Okay, makes sense. They're friends. He's asking a request. He wants them to transport him to his home, to his parents. You know, the real world was hard to survive in the war, and he wants them. And this is like a very key, important line. It actually, like, I really do like him. He's like, I need you to carry me a little further. What was the line? Where is it? I have it written here. When you can't run, you crawl. When you can't crawl, you find someone to carry you. I guess it's a very soldiery line. So I guess this is his way of being like, I can't run or crawl anymore. Please carry me home to my family. So what do? They do that. Then we go to the scene. These cops stop at the post office to interrogate the post office man. And he threatens them with prison because he was found transporting humans. And it's like 5-10 years. Plus he's like, and you will also resist arrest. What's scarier, just be told that? I don't know. I've never been in a situation where I've been told, you know, you're going to get arrested. I'm a good girl. I swear I'm a good girl. What's this? Charm overrated. Kaylee's hot. Wow. Fixed motors. Come on. Can Megan Fox do that? Up her hotness level. Feminine Wilds. The come on. Oh my God. What is going on in the chat? We can go from making a sandwich to Wild Street, the flick of a switch. Oh, wild beeps in the flick of a switch. Wow. What is happening in this chat? I feel like you guys all want to talk about those girls. So they ask where the dead body is. He ends up telling them. And then I did write this line. Are these guys actually like cops or feds or whatever they're called in this world? Is Xray Girl onto something? I don't know. I'm learning to become very like I feel like I can read the script a little more and see what they're trying to do, because literally this show has shown me that every single thing that they ever have put in this show means something. There is something that either is character building or ends up being brought back in an additional scene later on that episode. Yes, like Hands of Blue. Kaylee's listening to the recording on repeat. Simon walks in a couple steps away, unseen. I think that's a very interesting scene. Like, he doesn't want to, like, I feel like he's afraid of her. He's so scared of the possibilities with her. Maybe. At least that's what I got from that scene. Jane's hanging out with the preacher. What are they doing? Oh yeah, they're working out. And I find this interesting because they're talking about death and, you know, if you're a believer, and all of a sudden River comes in and just lays on the coffin and just says it's comfortable. I found that really weird. But she does weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff. And this is where I think, like, is she trying to read the coffin? Can she read the coffin? What's going on? Is she absorbing the coffin? I don't know. My brain goes in weird ways. And that's where it immediately goes. I'm like, she's reading it. I think. I still haven't figured out her powers. I'm really thinking psychic, especially after, you know, season ending. Alrighty. So the ship gets shot, and it's that weird Fed guy that was interrogating the postman. And he's like, what is it? Mal thinks they're after the Laster, which makes sense. You know, hot market item. They just stole it. Who would have thought it's the dead human? But they end up finding out he's looking for the dead body. Mal tries to be sneaky and is like, I must verify this first. So they actually end up trying to do an autopsy. And this is one of the most creepy parts of this episode. He's about to start. So when you do the autopsy, you do like a Y, like a down and then upside down Y. So he starts cutting, and then the guy wakes up. I did not see that coming. I thought maybe he was transporting drugs or he had something in him, but no, he is alive. We do find he's actually transporting something, but not what I thought it was. You know, first thought is drugs, but it actually was organs. Like, weird. Yes, hot organs. Yeah, the Woad Warrior, she knows he's not dead. That's what I say. I'm like, did she feel he was alive? Is there like one heartbeat a minute or an hour? I don't know. It's her powers are just, they're so confusing, and they're not straightforward. Everything seems different every time she has or uses the power. So I like how they do it, because it's so, like, I'm sure they had a set of rules that they wrote out on how her powers work, whatever they may be. And it just, there's probably clauses, so many clauses. And because she's not like 100% all there, she doesn't have to be straightforward on how she acts on everything she does. So anyways, his organs are not real. They're like inorganic, and he's some sort of carrier, and it's safer to carry the organs in a human than it is in a box, I guess. And they're obviously very expensive. So the buyer who he was going to sell it to was dead. He ended up getting away. And so he wanted to end up going home, which is why he sent himself in the mail dead. He had a drug in him that was supposed to make him look dead for a week. And they had found him literally at almost the week's end. And yeah. So I believe they end up helping him still get home. Or trying to, because clearly this guy is absolutely insane, the cop. And so I find this quite interesting. Kaylee, there's a scene where Kaylee and him, there's some turbulence. Kaylee falls into Tracy's arms, and then that whole beginning scene makes so much sense that they were trying to create a rift between Simon and her. So she falls into his arms, and then they have this moment, and he thinks that she's married to Wash. And I don't know if guys do this, but I think this is definitely a guy move. They're like, oh, he thought Wash and Kaylee were together, and of course they weren't. Wash and Zoe are married. So I'm available. Yeah. What happens next? Let me look at my notes. And so Wash thinks they got the way, but the ship is actually above them. And they're like flying. They're shooting rocks at the rocks, and the rocks like falling on them. And they end up parking like kind of in a little cave area. And the cops end up like throwing bombs down to try to flush them out. So it's like this crazy scene where explosion, they think they're going to die. So the only thing that they can do is basically give up. The shepherd said it. You only have one choice, is to give up. Give him a call. And Tracy's like, no. He points a gun at him. And this, I feel really bad because he ends up going, taking Kaylee and putting a gun to her head, using her as a hostage. And after that, like cute little flirty scene, I'm like, dude, you dropped the ball on that. She was ready. She probably was giving you F me eyes. You suck. Oh, wow. When I rewatch this episode, I usually clean my guns. This episode I thought was a weaker one. This was a weaker one. Anyway, so they ended up shooting him. The cops come aboard, and Tracy's injured, and they threaten to search the ship. But the shepherd, using his observatory skills, he's like, there is a police station. Why didn't you give him a call? Obviously, this is a side job. So, if you don't back down, we'll shoot you, and then you'll just be dead. I'm sure no one will miss you. So they back down. And then Tracy asks if that was the plan, because it was a good plan. And I think it was. Oh, we just saw how smart they were in the last episode. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Who knows? And apparently Tracy was in the dark, or it was just luck. I think this is like, you do bring up a good point. It was a weaker episode because I don't think the, at least this sequence made sense, 100% sense to me. And of course, Tracy ends up dying. Now, I do like how this episode ended. They did bring his dead body back. And I do like how they finished the episode with lines from his recording, especially that like one line where it was, where is it again? I lost it. I just said it. If you can't run, you crawl. If you can't crawl, you find someone to carry you. And it was kind of like sweet to see that. And even though he betrayed them, Mal and Zoe still brought him back to his parents. Kind of sucks. But I think the whole army ties is a huge thing. I mean, I've never been part of the army, but maybe. Why are we laughing at Disparu? I can fix her. Who are you trying to fix? So I gave this episode an 8 out of 10, which is actually one of my lowest ratings. It did build some character stuff, some character building, but did I think that it really like built them up really well, or some crazy stuff happened? No. But yeah, 8 out of 10. It was still enjoyable. Wow. Oh no! Episode there, the cast learned they were canceled. Maybe that's why they weren't excited. The funeral. Oh wait, I was trying the funeral scene. They did not have to fake being sad. They got told the show was canceled that day. Oh no. Yeah. So maybe that was like the thing that kind of I learned from it is like the veteran bonds run deep. Excuse me. And, you know, even though there was betrayal, they still did their duty, I guess, to bring him back home to mama. Ken Lepson for $5 says, this is a vote for Nandy as hottest in Firefly. She is the female Mal. Heart of Gold is my favorite episode. Read after the message, please. Oh, I did. Thank you, Ken Lipson. Oh my God. Yes, Heart of Gold was so good. Is that the next one? Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I kind of wanted to title this How to Do Woke Right. How to Do Woke Right. Because, you know, they create a story about women who were, you know, awesome, strong, and kicked butt. But before I go on, who's the hottest in Firefly? We have Inara winning with 43%. Thank you guys for participating in that poll. Yes. So Heart of Gold. We start off with this episode. They're at this weird foil-looking house, and these cowboys come up and yelling to find Nandy. And I'm like, what is happening? Who are these people? This looks like a couple. Okay. They totally duped me. I definitely did not think that this was a whorehouse. And this guy basically wants this girl, I guess he was diddling with her, pedaling. She's pregnant and is like, is this my baby? And he sticks a needle in her, gets some DNA, and basically like, if this is my baby, I'm going to come back and I'll cut it out of you if I need to. Ugh. Creepy. Abso-freaking-lutely creepy. No, I don't mean it was actually woke. It was just like, this is how to do woke stuff right. Like, you know, these women actually had a good story on how they were strong. They wrote about a female, Nandy. Well, you know, she just didn't come out as I'm female, so I'm amazing. You know, they wrote that she was a companion. We built the story for the last 12 episodes on how amazing companions are as human beings. They're not just beautiful, but they're cunning, and they know how to use their verbal, nonverbal skills in order to get things that they want or elicit certain reactions from their clients. So I feel like that's how I felt about this episode. Like it was good. Wow, it was shiny whorehouse. But yeah. I don't think it's woke, but it's if we were to call this an old school woke episode, they did it so right. But yeah, she's a strong female character, not a strong female character. No, it wasn't the horror Amarado. Chat, you're going crazy right now. Yes, shield wall, non-verbal skills. I count that too. It's even in like a look in the eyes. They do that so well. The actresses, I mean. All three of the companions that we have met in this season have shown great skills with their nonverbal and observational skills. Oh my God, Rocket Man. I am not a perfect. That is a physical nonverbal skill, Rocket Man. Yeah. Okay, Mark says this better. She means the same goal as woke, just with far better execution than most woke writers are capable today. Yes. That is what I meant. Thank you, husband, for mansplaining what I meant. Oh, okay. So this guy is Rance Burgess. He's some rich dude. He's basically trying to keep everyone else poor so that he can stay the rich leader of the little town that he's in. I guess that's what we'll call it. So Wash says that there's someone asking for help. Malcolm thinks that like he's a little salty about that petty word. And he's like, people need help from us petty crooks to Inara. But the message is actually for Inara. She ends up taking it. It's Nandy being like, I need help. You know, if you have guns and brains, you know, we could use your help. And Inara with backhand comment, she's like, we got guns. Yeah, we got guns. Oh. So I actually put this in here. This is before I found out she was a companion. I'm like, is she a previous companion? Like, why is she on this desertous island of a planet and running a whorehouse? So we found out she was shunned. Mal ends up hearing the phone call, and Nara is, you know, she's like, did you hear that? I love that she can hear things very well. Apparently she has strong hearing. And so Mal agrees to go help. As long as they keep it strictly business, of course. Business. Disbrew. Oh no, I just realized we watched the show in the televised order. They broadcast them out or wait, what? I thought I watched them in did I watch them in the wrong order? Did I? Oh, I don't know. I'm actually questioning it because I thought I did before. I watched. So this was on Apple, and Mark had purchased it before, so that's why. I thought I watched in the right. The order is in the description below, so I'm hoping I didn't watch it in the wrong order. Okay, perfect. So I did. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so they end up going to, I guess they're on a moon, and they end up meeting. I love that. So they find out why it was metal. So it's like solar panels. They meet Nandy, and I love how Malcolm's like, any friend of Inara's is a strictly business-like relationship of mine. It's like these cute little backhanded comments they have to each other. This is like grade 3 flirting. Like, you know, when you're a little mean to each other, but you're like, this is how I'm using this to pretend I don't like you. And I hope you don't find out I like you. Jane's around all these whores and wants to get all sexed up. So Mal, Zoe, Nandy and Inara go to have a talk. I love how there's like male whores. That's how we call it, male whores. Jane is getting all handsy with this blonde girl, and Kaylee's like a little jealous, I think, that he's kind of getting in. Simon goes to, I guess, take care of Pedaline with her pregnancy. Sorry, by the way, when you put those needles inside a belly, you have to do it so carefully because there is a high chance that your baby could be aborted. So I don't know how they got away with that. Technology? Can we say technology? I don't know. It's a little weird. It's weird. I realized I thought this was the episode. And there's one more. There is one more. But this is like, ugh. I don't know if this is my favorite or second favorite. Maybe I'll have to do another watch. So what happens? Shepard's there as well. I love how awkward he is being in a whorehouse, being a man of God. And I also love how the writers had the whores go up to the shepherd and be like, we want to have a prayer meeting. It's been so long since we had a prayer meeting. Would it be possible? Like, I love that they, you know, even though their job is technically not, I was about to say kosher. I'm mixing up religions now. Their jobs are sinning. Okay, we'll go with that. Their jobs, they sin. I love that they still want to have a relationship with God. So there was no needle, so yes, technology. Oh, how do they get the DNA then? Shark dentures. yeah, she does get jealous in this episode, but we haven't gotten to there yet. So we go to that scene where Zoe, Nandy, Mal, and Inara are all talking about what's happening. We find out that Rance is essentially a bad guy. He primarily was with Pedaline and then ended up getting her pregnant, or allegedly. And that, Mal wants to talk to him in person. So they go to this Chinese themed show, and Mal and Inara dressed to the nines, saloon worthy clothing. And they have this conversation with Rance and his wife. And I thought that was like, So his wife can't get pregnant, clearly. And they talk about this gun. So this gun is some amazing gun. It's like this gray area of legal. He he says it's to protect the family, which is why I have this. And, it puts an interesting thought on gun laws, I guess, on the moon. Apparently you have to have gun laws on the moon. What? It's like supposed to be some sort of like backcountry, out of police control, I guess. I don't know. I thought that was interesting that they had gun laws there. Wow. Yes, saloon worthy clothing. It kind of, what it made me think of the Friday Night Tights poster for Dallas. Some of the guys were wearing something like how Mal was wearing. And then, what Chrissy was wearing, I don't think anyone had per se, but it was like the style like clothing, Yeah, I believe this. He's compensating for something for sure with that gun. Ooh. All right. So after that whole conversation, Mal looks him in the eye and is like, we need to go ASAP. I guess he kind of sussed him up and realized that this guy, this whole morality and legality of the gun thing, he's like, there is no debating with him. He's going to fight. He is going to fight. So they end up going back to the whorehouse, and he tells Nandy and all the ladies and men, whores, that he wants to run. Everyone included. He's like, I can take you all. We'll go and we'll get you to a safe place. We'll make sure you're safe. And Nandy, so prideful, doesn't want to leave because she built this place from nothing. She was shunned by the companions for what I don't remember. And, she has built this, like, it seems like a lovely place. I guess, good business. It seems like her workers like working for her. They seem happy. Why not stay? Except you have a crazy guy with a gun that wants to shoot you and cut a child out of a human body. But anyways, so Mel goes to Nandy, is like, you're my kind, Nandy is like my kind of stupid. So they end up gunning up, making all these traps, getting the house fortified. I love that we find out the shepherd is some sort of carpenter. Maybe he's been in a few gunfights and had to fortify a house too. That makes sense. Kaylee's upgrading their water system. River's like, it's starting. And then all of a sudden, psychic abilities, the baby is coming. Crazy. Just like the reliving of Tracy. So everyone's got their things to do. The girls are talking to the shepherd. They're like, if we fall, we want to tell you what we want you to say. And I kind of think this is like a really cute scene because, whores are humans too. They are. So, if you die, you want people to say the right things about you. I thought that was really sweet. And then Shepherd goes, no one is going to die. I kind of think it's really sad to think about now that we've learned what's happened in the episode. And then Jane goes, people are gonna die. So he takes the girl he likes and goes and does things. He does tell her, every time I run out of bullets, give me the next biggest gun. And then they have hot steamy sex. What man wouldn't love that? War, sex, guns. Is that what boys like? Is that what boys like? War, sex, and guns. Yeah. Just keep handing me the biggest gun. He has really good one-lines too. Like he's like the comedic relief in like a not haha in your face funny. So yeah. Wow. Everyone in the chat right now. I have so many yeses. What? Oh my god. In a sandwich Johnny. In that order? War, sex, guns? I don't know about that. Well, it seemed like for him, it was war, guns, and sex. And then guns and war. Well, war and guns. I don't know. It's really confusing. All right. Guns needed for war. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Don't care about the order. Wow. Inverse order. So Shark Dentures wants guns, sex, and war. Gotta have the sex before the war, because you never know if you're gonna come back. Yeah, me too. Nearsighted Cyclops. I think this next scene that we kind of see, so we're seeing all the characters kind of living their last night, a happy night before the war. Zoe and Wash talk about having a baby, and I think this is like a setup for season 2 that never existed. Zoe wants a baby. Wash doesn't think that it's a good time. I would have loved to see the story progress, but I don't think we're ever going to see the story progress. Also, we never saw them have sex either. They have a lot of sex, but not on this episode. Nanny's showing off her guns to Mal. They're like these kind of like old school looking guns, very saloon like. I'm going to use that from now on. And yeah, she asks Mal why he hasn't taken a girl. And I thought that was like a very perceptive question of her. Makes sense. She's a companion. She was a companion. She can read people. She's like, they're all clean and they're kind. And Mal's like, I have a job on my mind. You know, maybe afterwards. He kind of like deked that little question. You know, being perceptive as Inara. And she does ask if he's a sly. Which actually meant gay. Oh my god. I like that they use like some, what's the word for it? Sorry, I have to blow my nose. 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I like that they use the word sly and not gay. Now, this show did come out in the 90s. Maybe it wasn't okay to say gay back then, or this was them using just a different word for gay. Of course, he's not. He's definitely into the ladies. We saw him almost fall for Saffron. Almost. And then she talks about like how Inara was, and how she knew Inara back in the day. Like how she was to be one of the most successful in the house. She was going to be what version of a leader, but then she ended up leaving for, I guess, Firefly. Interesting. And she also said that Malcolm is very similar to Nara. I wonder why. Planting the little seed that they are meant for each other. Saying that she hates complications. And then it's interesting how this like song and dance, you know, cat and mouse game of information is power. And I think that's a big thing with these companions, that information literally is power for them. The more they know and the more that they can find out about a person, they can use either positively or negatively against them. I mean, we saw it with Saffron. She finds out everything about each of the crew members and tries to use her powers, whatever they may be, for that person to deceive them. So interesting. What if that was something they learned in companion school? And then we go to the scene We're still going through the night. Pedaline, not dilated enough. Inara and Simon, they find out that it's their first time delivering, which I thought was hilarious because Simon is a doctor. I thought he would at least have delivered a baby, but it's his first time delivering a baby by himself. And River, being the sweet soul she is, she chimes in. It's my first time too. And then she goes, who do you think is in there? Like, it's so random. It is so freaking random. Yeah. Information can protect or endanger the companions, as we have seen here. Yes. Okay, shark dentures? Yes, that seduction scene. Okay, so now we're going to the seduction scene. Oh my God. Okay, so I got a little hot and bothered at the scene. I think that this is something that I think when we think about how we flirt, this is how I think I flirt. I don't know if it's true. Mark the Cyborg will have to tell me. But maybe a couple of the first times that we were together. But yeah, so they're drinking and talking. They're talking about all this stuff, musical instruments, and being a companion was too restricting for Nandy. That's why she got into this whorehouse business. And he compliments that she's a remarkable woman, which compliments for him is far few between. He only says them when he means them. At least I believe from, watching him, like that's, he wouldn't say something that's untrue unless, of course, it's maybe on a job to trick someone. Yeah, so he compliments her. And I mean, if I'm complimented, I'd be like, he likes me. He likes me. Oh. And they almost kiss. But then he goes and checks on the barricades. And I literally wrote in my notes, don't do it, Mal. So, and then they keep on, so they talk to each other more after that. And they're like teasing each other that, about sinning. So they're insinuating, that sin equals sex. And, it's been a long time since he's sinned and needed to talk to the shepherd. And, it's like, I haven't confessed in a long time. Oh yeah, you have to confess when you sin. It keeps talking about it. And it's like, it was hot. Oh my God, now I'm just all hot and bothered thinking about the scene. Oh my God. Oh God. Bye, BS. Yeah, sex equals sinning only if you do it right. Wow. God, that I literally trailed off right there because all I could think was that scene. That was like a hot scene. Also, by the way, the actress who played her, I loved her in the OC, which she kind of plays like someone kind of similar, but a more Beverly Hills annoying mom, hot mom. And no, she's just a nice person in this. Like she's, a hot, nice person. But anyways, they end up flirting and they sin, and then he'll need to confess the next day. And I'm really sad. Like, I mean, that was a hot scene, not gonna lie. But then all I can think was Inara. And I think she does tell him, like, I'm not her. Hinting that Inara, because she obviously can tell using her senses that he's in love with her. All right, let's get to the next part. So we find out that one of the whores is a spy for Rance, and her name's Sherry. I don't really think that it really matters much near to the end, but he's telling a speech about how the whores don't know their place in the town, what a woman is to a man, basically like saying that they're like a lesser person than a human being, which I feel like I wonder if he means all women or whores, and I feel like he meant all women based on like my notes. And it just, Very interesting. Like, I wonder why his wife is still with him. And she obviously is a prominent character. Like, she actually can still talk. If I felt like I was in a relationship where the man was oppressing me in that sense, like I was a lesser person, then I would be a more quieter character. So I don't know if his wife falls into that, but you know, whatever. Yes, Disbro. She did say that. Yeah, I'm not her. And he's like, there's no one else in this room. Oh, he was a bit over top. Yeah, a little excessive, but they were trying, like, how they did Niska. Niska was a well portrayed evil character, in my opinion. He was all evil. This guy was all definite evil. Like this is like a very two-dimensional evil character. All right. So in the morning, and this scene breaks my heart so much. Mal's leaving Nandy's room. His shirt's disheveled, and Anara obviously knows, and she just goes, "I'm glad." And even though she puts up a strong front, you can tell there's a little hint of hurt in her eyes. Also, great acting. Oh my God. And, you know, she's like, Nandy needs comfort in these hard times, especially with all these events. And that she tells Mal that one of the virtues about not being puritanical about sex is to not feel embarrassed afterwards. You should look into it. I'm thinking, oh my God, girl, why aren't you sad? And of course, at the very end, we find Anara crying in her room. And I'm like, oh, my heart, I want them to be together. Wow, Fierce Phil. It's not happening right now. They had to make him over the top because he has a moral argument. He's a father fighting for his kids. So they were trying to make him they try to make him seem unreasonable. I guess that's not unreasonable to want to get the kid, but it seems unreasonable to cut it out of a woman's belly to get the kid. Just let her give birth first. So the fight starts. Penaline's 10 centimeters dilated. They're shooting all over the place. They have well-placed traps. I like how they had this moment where they're like, I think it was Mal's like, shoot the person on the horse, not the horse, because if you shoot the horse, it's just another place for them to hide and shoot from, like cover to shoot from. So they're fighting, shooting. There's some women who go down. I think there's actually did see one male whore go down. Of course, a lot of those cowboys, I'm going to call them cowboys, get shot. And Pedaline gives birth to a boy. What did she end up naming him? Jonah, I think? It was Jonah. Yeah, it was Jonah. And fight. We get to the scene where Rance ends up. So Anara puts a knife to Rance's throat and says to give the baby back. He hits Anara, shoots Nandy. Poor Nandy's dead. And Mal goes crazy and goes all Mission Impossible, like literally Mission Impossible, to get the guy back. And I wonder, is this morals? Is it because he killed Nandy, where he had this like emotional connection to her? I don't know. And you can see as he runs off to go get the baby, there's probably morals as well. There's a little hint of hurt in Anara's eyes. And I feel so bad because we just saw her crying and now she was, helping birth the baby, and then the baby got stolen. And what's the thing he does? After Nandy gets shot, go after the man that shot Nandy. Even though maybe he was going after the baby as well. Was it a mix of both? Was it one? Was it the other? I think it was a mix of both. But of course, what does she think? It's for Nandy. Yeah. That's the real Mal. He's cray. Heck yeah. But I mean, either or, like, he has to get the baby back. I just think that in her eyes, maybe in that very moment, it just felt like he was getting back at him for Nandy. So they end up catching him. How did he kill him? Rance loses his gun. Oh yeah, gun loses power, and then he throws him off the car, and he'll say he told Rance that he's going to pay for what he just did. The women beat him up, and Pedaline introduces the new son to Rance, and I love this line that she gives. She's like, "Say hi to Daddy," and then shoots him, and it says, tells Jonah, "Okay, Jonah, say bye to Daddy." Cold freaking hearted. So she got to have the final laugh, and I kind of like that she ended up having the final like kill shot, because you know she literally got terrorized, stuffed with a needle, and you know, makes sense. I would want to, especially if I had that happen to me. Yeah, bye bye, Daddy. To get the baby back or get back for Nandy. It is. I really do think it is both. Nandy does say something to her. I thought it was just him. Oh, yes. I forgot about that scene. Okay, so before the war started, I think it was like in the morning or something. And yeah. So, okay, so this was our first legitimate confirmation that both of them like each other. It's been hint, hint, nudge, nudge, words, looks, you know, actions, all this, just hinting at it. But this is the first time they've both admitted, not to each other, but to someone else, that they actually do have feelings. We've been waiting for this moment, guys. We've been waiting for this moment. But in any case, they bury Nandy, maybe some of the other people who had passed away that were part of the fight. Very sweet moment. Serenity leaves, and I hate what happens next. So Inara and Mal are having a conversation. Inara told Mal that she's happy that Nandy and him were together the night before she died. He's just full of regret because he feels like he failed her. And I think that was another knife in Inara's like stomach almost, you know, that I feel like she wants those types of words from him, but she has not allowed that moment to open up that moment for them. So me thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen. We finally admitted the feelings. They're going to just admit the feelings to each other. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's gonna... And what happens? The worst thing possible. She says that she has to go. She has to leave Serenity. She says this after she's like, life's too short, of ifs and maybes. She says she's learned so much from love and the things that like friends and family have created. But no, she's leaving Serenity. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. God, this sucks. I really think I thought it was going to happen. But I did watch Serenity. I probably should have known. But do they kiss in Serenity? I want them to kiss so bad. Okay, anyways, so I gave this episode a 9.5 out of 10. It was a great story. I loved it. This was absolutely one of my most favorite like story moments. This is exactly what he wanted, you know, well, not exactly, mostly exactly what we wanted, up to the point that she said that she's leaving. We wanted this. It's just good story. Like good story about a character. This one character in less than, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour, created so much storytelling, tension. You know, Nandy, so effective as a character, pushed us to where we needed it. And then, of course, disappointed in the end. I guess this is almost like blue balling. Is this the blue balls of television? We thought we were going to get what we wanted, but it didn't finish exactly the way we thought. Dang it! Gosh. So, and I'm going to repeat this. This is how you do good content about strong, powerful females. You know, they're not just physical strength, which they did. You know, sharpshooter, good at shooting, apparently good at birthing. What else do they do? Good at reading, good at like bringing about events. Like, good. I know it was subverted expectation, but it wasn't the good kind. This wasn't the good kind. This was halfway through season 1. Imagine season 2. Wow, why does everyone always joke about that? We can't have season 2. I want it. Oh, yes, a bow expert. Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling unfulfilled right now. Rocket Man. Wow, he's canceled now. A sad day for Josh kind everywhere. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Honestly, I think if they left this as the final episode, I would have been very happy. As it was a teaser, if season 2 was a thing. All right. So our very, very last episode here. Oh, before we go, I did get a super chat. Furious Bill for $5. Put the show Life on your list. 2 seasons. Great show. Life season. Is there a season 3? Oh, a trailer that was canceled. Okay. Life season 2. I'm just going to put it in my search so that I have that there. Oh, Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, the critic score, there's no score. Oh, no, this is For Life. Is it called For Life or just Life? Oh, here. I'm getting confused. I am getting confused. DM me. I think that's what you should do. DM me. Okay, so wow, it ain't pregnancy, but you never want to experience the pain of blue balls. Good to know. Are you going to review or have you reviewed Babylon 5? I'm going to review it at some point. Babylon 5. For sure. I heard such great things about it. All right. Okay. So now let's go to episode 14. We meet a dude. I called him dude for a while because we didn't know his name. So River wakes up and says, we're all just floating. And I kind of love this little beginning part because she's like going through the ship, seeing everyone on the ship. And there's these moments that these characters have, like, so when she sees Simon and Kaylee, he's talking about all these stories about his like hospital life, and there's this part where he goes, I would be there right now. And I think I wonder, is this how her psychic powers work? I'm very curious. We go to Jane. He says, I got stupid. The money was too good. Shepard goes, I don't give half a hunk if you're half a hump. I wrote half a hump. I don't know if that's actually correct. If you're innocent or not. So where does that put you? And I thought this was weird too. So we see Zoe and Wash making out, and she kind of like touches her arm, like they're like getting all handsy on each other, and they're doing nasty to each other, and it's like almost like she feels it, and then she runs away. So I don't know, is this how her powers work, or is this maybe a moment where things are just too much and this is where she goes crazy? I don't know. It is very interesting. I really do think that this is how her powers work, and this is like a hint at it, but we don't 100% know for sure. It's not been official yet. She steps on a branch in the cargo bay, and I think this is where she definitely goes crazy. So I do think this is an overload of her psychic powers. Maybe you'll have to confirm. And she picks up a branch and she goes, it's just an object. It doesn't mean what you think. And then flash, all of a sudden, it's actually her holding a gun. Everyone's yelling at her. Mel's telling her to take her, put down the gun. He ends up taking the gun and he's like, no touching guns. Very, very interesting first scene. And I don't know, I guess it made me think that, is this hinting at her powers? I think it is. I really do think it is. The meds clearly aren't working. Mal's like, what? I thought she was getting better. You know, one of my favorite lines that he says in this, I had to rewind this. We are deep in space at the corner of no and where. I just thought it was so silly. Mal's like, get her in order. We can't, you know, if you get hurt, Simon, no one's going to be able to help you because he's a doctor. You know, makes sense? Makes sense. So I thought this was a great bit of foreshadowing. Great bit of foreshadowing. And I didn't know it at that time. Like I did think, like, I feel like I need to put this in here because this is going to be something that comes up later. So great foreshadowing. So the ship flies and like flies in and above Serenity, and this like weird dude is in there, and he pulls out this piece of paper, which I guess is like a bounty paper. You know, they want Simon and River, and then he has a picture of a lady in a photo with a dog. I'm thinking, this must mean something. This must mean something. So the gun that ended up being in River's hand was Jane's, and Mal's trying to get Jane to be more responsible. He's like, how did she get it? Jane's putting the blame on River, you know, who we didn't even want on the ship. And Kaylee comes in and reveals how she saw River pick up the gun. Back in the episode with Niska, his second appearance, and she shot those 3 guys with her eyes closed. Like, that's not normal. She's obviously not a human being. She's dangerous. She's scary. And I mean, like, if I saw someone shoot 3 people without looking, I'd be worried. And we find out this dude in space named Early is outside the ship listening in. And then we see as well. So above and below, we have a sandwich of listeners. Above and below, we have, you know, above Ariel, and then River is below, like standing on rails, listening through the ceiling. She can hear them having this conversation. Wild. So she can hear them. And I think this is a great way to put this like whole idea. So with the beginning, you know, obviously being told or perceptively told that Simon would be at his normal life if it weren't for River. Most of the people on the ship are scared of her, clearly. And, you know, River is a danger. And having this conversation, it's like a lot to handle. Jane is like, is she a witch? I love how like he has some like weird, crazy one-liners all the freaking time. Simon does say he thinks that she is deeply intuitive. Mal thinks she's some sort of reader and psychic. So this is actually our first confirmation that maybe she is a psychic. It is not official yet. I don't believe Mal can officially diagnose her as psychic. And I love how like Wash is like, that's like out of a science fiction movie or a science fiction. And Zoe's like, we live in space and we live in a spaceship, dear. This is science fiction. Yeah. So essentially I feel like there's this like underlying fear that's been exacerbated at this moment since she got her gun, and now she feels like ostracized in a sense, like she feels unwanted. So we get to this, like, it sets the scene for her actually feeling left out, scared, not part of the crew. Yeah. So we go to this next scene where Simon and Kaylee are talking, and Kaylee thinks Simon's mad at him. Simon isn't mad. He thinks that River loves the ship because it's home to her. And I mean, she was a tortured, experimented on human being. She gets to do, you know, some fun stuff on the ship. She has friends. I can see why she thinks this is a home. And then Kaylee goes, don't you feel like this is home? And we go back to that line that he had, like, I would be there at the hospital, you know, if it weren't for essentially River. And he says like he thought that the hospital is home. He loved his life previous to this, and I think that he never expected that his life would end up here. And I think that of course Kaylee is trying to get him to say that he's glad he's here for Kaylee. And of course he screws that up as well. What did he do? He says that he wouldn't be there if it weren't for River. And they kind of have this moment. I'm like, I think I kiss. Never in my recent adult life have I been like, dude, you guys need to kiss. What is wrong with you? But they don't. Shepard walks in. Terribly timed moment. Of course, the holy man has to walk in. But yeah, they don't kiss. Dang it. Space Dude. I love how I put Space Dude because I didn't know his name at this point. Sneaks into the ship. He has a gun. He runs into Mal. He knocks him out, puts him in his cabin, and locks all the crew quarters. Kaylee's in the engine, and she's working on the engine, and she hears tunk, 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 and she thinks it's River, which, I mean, she's scared of River, so of course she apprehensive. Ends up being, of course, Mr. Early. Jubal Early. And it's like one of the most creepy scenes that I've seen here. So he's clearly an accomplished fighter. We saw him knock out Mal. Mal is a soldier, so surprised. And I think he's good at mental warfare. So he talks about all this stuff about a ship, you know, it's interesting. You can pull one part and all of a sudden the ship is down. And then he goes, have you been raped? Huh? Oh, what? Okay. If I ever were in her situation, if I hear a person say, have you been raped? My first immediate thought would be like, are you going to rape me? So I think he uses this. This is where I got the psychological warfare. He's like, you know, everyone's locked in their quarters. I'm going to tie you up and give you a present. Get rid of the problem that you've been having. But I won't touch you or hurt you unless you fight back. And this is very interesting. So at work, I kind of employ a similar method, not about rape, of course, in the show. So when I talk to a patient, I like to give them options because I think that in healthcare, you need to feel like you have a choice, which you always have a choice. And I think that maybe we haven't seen that lately. Anywho, so when people feel more in control, they feel more powerful. In this case, he's using it in the opposite way. He's using this choice, you know, be good and I won't hurt you. He's putting the power in her, putting the fear in her, because I've offered you this choice of being hurt or not. So you best behave. And this guy is so accomplished, he knocks out Shepard. Okay. He tied up Kaylee, knocked out Shepard. Simon wakes up. So he uses Simon. And of course, he knows who Simon is. And he's like, let's go find River. They go around the ship and he says some of the weirdest things. So I had this moment where like, is he like River? Is he kind of intuitive and a bit psychic or whatever the words are? A little bit off? I don't know. So obviously we don't find out. Maybe. But he, of course, is a bounty hunter and, you know, he's asking Simon for his help and says all these weird lines. They go to visit Anara. Obviously, River's not there. This is such a weird scene. She tells him, you can still walk away from this. I know you're tired. So she uses her companion intuitiveness. And then he goes smacks her and says, don't go visiting my intentions. And then this line here, man is stronger by far than women, yet only women can create children. Does that seem right to you? And I don't know, this just makes me feel even more ewy about him. The word ewy. He can just raid people. Psycho. Definitely psycho. Furious Phil, you can just DM me on Twitter. Yeah. I don't know. I've never felt so scared of a character. And I think that who is it? Shark Dentures brings a good point to this. Psycho people are scarier because they're more erratic in their behavior, and maybe this sets a good precedent on how creepy and scary this guy is. So they end up in the cockpit, and River ends up going on the PA system. Interesting. She says she's one with the ship, and she enacts this like crazy plan. She gets Kaylee to release herself. Kaylee releases herself, goes and opens the quarters, the cabin quarters. Zoe and Wash are getting their guns, but she's like, you need to back down. Jane's asleep, doesn't stir. And she tells Mal about this plan, which we don't find about the plan until it happens, of course. What happened next? So Jubal early, she's talking to him. She's saying some of these crazy stuff. She's like, can I call you Jubal? Just like your mother did, before she died. She doesn't think that he's an honorable person because he hurts people. And I mean, that's very true. He's a liar and he's only interested in himself, essentially. And that I love that she could see kind of through that. He loves hurting people, even though he doesn't see it as hurting. Like his moral compass is so off. If we compare Malcolm and Jubal, completely different human beings, the moral compass, Malcolm hurts people because he has to. Jubal hurts people because he wants to. So I love seeing that little comparison there. They don't actually do it on the show, but just seeing them. Simon ends up fighting this guy. He gets shot. He continues to keep fighting. Jubal ends up running. They fight because he finds out that River is actually in his pod. She's so sneaky. And as he exits the ship, I'm skipping a lot here. It's a lot of fighting. Malcolm's there in a spacesuit. Kicks Jubal. Jubal flies off in space. Oh my God. It's probably one of the best things. Golden Retriever never took to you. Yes. Okay. Yes. So more, I guess, attesting to the character. And then the same thing about his mom saw darkness in him. Even from the beginning, she was glad when you left. And is this psychic or is this intuitiveness? There's a bit of both. I don't know. Is there a diary? Is there a diary in the ship that we didn't see? Yeah. You're not in my Gorham head. You're in my Gorham ship. Niska's pure evil. This guy's complete psycho. Yes. And one more thing. Okay, whether it's psychic or intuitiveness, I like that she saw this. She's like, you like power, control, and pain, and your mom knew. And she was relieved when you left. Dang. So you think it was just because of the photos on the ship? Can you get that from just a photo, though? Like a dog that didn't like you? I don't remember if he was in that picture. It was just a picture of his mother. But I'm so glad that Malcolm and her are good and that, it wasn't a bad ending. It wasn't a great ending, but it was a good ending. So she comes back on the ship and she's like, permission to come aboard. And it's like, you ain't right. And River's like, it's a popular theory. And Mel goes, go on, get in there. And in the end, Zoe's doing surgery on Simon. The doctor, that foreshadowing that I talked about earlier, he's not doing the surgery. Zoe is getting that bullet out of him. Mal and Inara, they have this moment. And she of course is still leaving from what we know. He goes to check on her lip, but she wants to keep her distance. She's like, I think it's sweet of him to ask, for him to care, but she obviously still wants to keep that distance from him. And then we end on Kaylee and River playing jacks. And then we see a scene of Early floating in space, says, well, here I am. So he hasn't died yet. If he didn't die on screen, he didn't die in life. Sorry, I had to rush through that because I do have to be finished. I have to say, this show is amazing. I'm sad there's no season 2. I really, 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 really wish there was a season 2. Disbrew says, I loved her line when they were like, they didn't want me, so I melted away. I became the ship, and the dude was half considering if it was true. Oh my God, yes! I completely skipped over that. That was, I think, because he's so psycho, he would believe stuff like that. Ken Lipson, the relationship between Mal and River in the final episode and the final scene of the movie, that's why the ending was so good. Yes. See, that part was good. I wish there was more. And then maybe that is a sign of a great ending. I don't know. I didn't like that it ended. And maybe that's why I feel so sad and spoiled. Or unspoiled. Seven Seeker. I'm going to watch it for next week, which I will announce it at the end. Andrew Matthews for £5 says, which character from Firefly are you and Tugs? I think we are both similarly Kaylee. I think. Maybe a bit of Anara. I would like to say I'm like Jane, but I don't think I am. Thank you, Andrew Matthews, for £5. Ken Lipson for 5 says, Xray, you're the bomb dignity. Please turn down for what at your earliest convenience. I've thoroughly enjoyed your videos. Thank you. Turn down for what? I love dancing to that song. Hi, Hokies. Ken Lipson for another $2. Oh my God, says that was supposed to say bomb diggity. I kind of had a feeling, but I had to read it. Thank you, Ken Lipson. Thank you. It's a bad finale when you know that it's the finale forever, but for just a season 1 ending, I thought it was good. If there had been a season 2. Yes, I think it ended nicely. It didn't end with, and you are right about this, it didn't end with a nice pretty bow. It felt unfinished. So maybe the movie will finish it for me in that sense. But as of right now, I feel quite unfinished and I don't like it. I need more. These are lines, Mark the cyborg ears. Okay. So, thank you, Seventh Seeker. And Holocron got a boy's name, Xray Girl? What does that mean? I have no idea. Rocky. It's my new puppy. You don't... Really? Well, Solidified is the best show, I suppose. Movie is very good. So next week, I am going to watch the movie, Serenity, and I'm actually going to have a panel. I'm so excited. Make sure everyone who's watching, watch Serenity. I have Mark the Cyborg, Disparu, and Epic Mike. And we're going to talk about this show. It's going to be so good. Gonna be so good. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. So yes, tune in next week, 6 p.m. Eastern. We are going to talk about Serenity and possibly more about Firefly and talk about season 2 of Firefly. You know, gotta look forward to good things. So yeah, everyone, please, I would love to have a great conversation about this. You guys have been freaking awesome. I was so nervous at the beginning when I started doing these reviews because, I mean, I'm not used to talking so much about pop culture, nerd culture. So thank you for making such a, oh my God, thank you for making such a great space for me. I felt a little SJW there. A safe space. Sorry. Thank you for making this like a fun experience. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. You guys have been awesome. I love you guys and I cannot wait for next week for Serenity. And then I think I'm going to do Buffy. I'm not 100% sure yet. I think it's going to be a Buffy, but I'll let you know. I will let you know. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a very great evening and I will see you tomorrow. I think I'm playing a game. We'll see. If not Wednesday, find me on Twitch. Xray Girl 2077, as well as Poor Choices at 9 p.m. Eastern, where Tugs and I will be talking about some fun stuff. More to come. Love you guys. Bye.